Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is the second half of BMF. Testimony given during various trials indicated the Flenory organization operated as follows. BMF operated 5 stash houses in the ATL area. Approximately every 10 days, vehicles would arrive with 100 to 150 kilos of coke packed in secret compartments. Workers at the stash houses were paid to unload the narcotics and store them. Customers who ordered would call in and say they had their vehicle ready, meaning a transportation vehicle to put the narcotics in. Depending on the size of their order, they were directed to a particular stash house where they would pull up, go inside, and hand over money in $5,000 bundles. This coke was normally sold at $20,000 per key. The same vehicles would then be filled with cash, the proceeds from the drug sales, to be sent back to the Mexican sources of supply. Workers inside the trap houses had certain duties, such as counting bulk amounts of cash, usually in the millions. Other people were packaging the coke for customers. BMF also received drugs through large containers at the airport containing 100 to 150 keys of coke, which they picked up and delivered to stash houses. In October 2005, it was reported that some 30 members of BMF were apprehended in a massive drug raid orchestrated by the DEA. During these raids, the DEA seized $3 million in cash and assets, 2.5 kilos of coke, and several weapons. Prior to the October 2005 raids, the DEA had arrested 17 BMF members, seized 632 kilos of white girl, $5.3 million in cash, and $5.7 million in assets. They claimed BMF was responsible for moving over 2,500 keys of coke a month throughout the United States. Big Meech and Terry were both charged under the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute. Conspiracy to distribute 5 keys or more coke, possession with intent to distribute more than 500 grams of white girl, conspiracy to launder monetary instruments, and 2 counts of possession with intent to distribute more than 5 kilos of white girl. Meech was captured in a mini mansion in Dallas, Texas. Inside, police found a small amount of Mary Jane and a few MDMA pills. In a safe inside the house were several weapons as well as multiple vehicles at the home. Terry was captured in St. Louis with small amounts of Mary Jane and weapons found throughout the home, which was also occupied by multiple people at the time of his arrest. On June 15, 2006, the U.S. Department of Treasury reported that 16 additional individuals had been charged with conspiracy to distribute white girl and money laundering charges under a second superseding indictment, bringing the number of people charged to this case to 49. The list of accused included Jacob Arable, popularly known as Jacob the Jeweler, a well-known celebrity jeweler in the hip-hop community. Jacob was charged with conspiring to launder more than $270 million in illicit obtained funds. The Department of Justice also shed light on more of the group's alleged activities in the indictment papers, which included running drug money through various banks and money wiring services to disguise its origin. The group had also been accused of obtaining several winning Michigan state lottery tickets from a third party, which they paid cash for, and then cashed in the tickets to make the money appear legit. The indictment sought the forfeiture of more than 30 pieces of jewelry, 13 residences, 35 vehicles, including Lincolns, a Lincoln limousine, BMWs, Range Rovers, Aston Martins, and Bentleys, several bank accounts, over $1.2 million in seized currency, and money judgment totaling in the amount of $270 million. On July 25, 2007, United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia unveiled an indictment of 16 more members of the BMF with conspiracy to distribute the white girl. The indictment charged all defendants with participating in the nationwide cocaine distribution conspiracy, which carries a penalty of between 10 years and life in prison and up to a $4 million fine. The indictments were seen as shutting down the BMF's once flourishing drug empire. Eventually, all defendants pleaded guilty before trial, except Flenory III Daniels. Flenory Daniels, a top member of the Black Mafia Family drug ring, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for drug trafficking on December 17, 2008. The federal judge also fined Flenory Daniels $10,000 for taking part in the organization. He was the 16th defendant indicted in Atlanta on charges stemming from their role in the organization and the only defendant in Atlanta indictments to go to trial. With 11 others already having pleaded guilty, the government's case relied upon testimony from William Doc Marshall and Ralph Sims to convict Flenory Daniels. Flenory Daniels had not been caught white girl nor caught on wiretapes discussing drug business. The testimony from Marshall indicated that he had seen Flenory receive coke in the kilos while he himself was picking up drumming. On February 26, 2010, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 20 years for voluntary manslaughter. His 20-year sentence will run concurrent to another 20 years stemming from his role on BMF powder charges. Irma Blue Da Vinci McKnight, the rapper and sole artist of BMF's Entertainment, sentenced on October 30, 2008 to 5 years and 4 months in federal prison. Barema McKnight claimed Meech presented himself as being involved in the music industry, and it was not until much later that he let him into the coke side of the business. Barema McKnight stated at sentencing that when he first met Meech, he didn't show him the other side of his world, in reference to the coke trafficking. Barema McKnight was released in 2011 and returned to his music career. He and his younger brother, Kaliko Jones, began the BMF tour. Kaliko Jones, who had started Swish Gang, joined with his brother to establish a BMF Swish Gang. Kaliko, who was known to have played a role in Soulja Boy's label SODMG and gang ties to Long Beach, California's Rolling 20 Crips, began music under the BMF Entertainment umbrella. McKnight is also a cousin of Raz Kass. The last remaining suspect, Veronica Marcus Coleman, was arrested on July 17, 2009. In ATL, she was indicted in 2007 for possession with intent to distribute. With this, the number of suspects apprehended in the BMF crew rose to about 150. The federal government believes the 150 they have indicted and arrested account for the command and control structure, as well as other key figures in the organization, such as distributors, stash house operators, and transporters. Prior to Operation Motor City Mafia and shortly after its commencement, there were numerous acts of violence alleged to have been committed by BMF members. November 11, 2003, Big Meech was apprehended in connection with the Buckhead area shooting deaths at Club Chaos of Anthony Wolf Jones, a former bodyguard of Diddy's and Wolf's friend Lamont Riz Gurdy. However, Meech was shot in the ass and claimed he was running away from the gunfire as the shooting went down. He was never indicted. July 25, 2004, at a Midtown Atlanta nightclub called The Velvet Room, a man named Rashanabal Prince Drummond was killed. The incident began after Fleming Daniels nearly backed into Drummond in his Porsche Cayenne Turbo. After Rashanabal hit the car to alert the driver, the passengers of the car got out and began whooping Rashanabal and his friends. During the fight, a friend of Rashanabal's fired a warning shot to scare everyone off. Fleming Daniels allegedly retrieved his gun, returned fire, then walked over to Rashanabal Drummond and executed him underground straight like that. September 2004, Ulysses Hackett and his girlfriend Misty Carter were executed in her Highland Avenue apartment in Atlanta. According to local police, the murders were the orders by Tremaine Kiki Graham, then son-in-law of Shirley Franklin, the mayor of Atlanta, and alleged associate of BMF. They claim Ulysses was thinking of testifying against BMF, and Tremaine Graham, growing suspicious, ordered their murder. On May 10, 2005, Henry Pookie Clark was killed by popular rapper Gucci Mane during an attempted robbery committed by Pookie Lock and 4 other men. The 5 men attacked Gucci Mane in the apartment of a stripper he met earlier that night. But Gucci Mane was armed and managed to fire at the assailants, hitting Pookie Lock. The incident occurred during a beef between Gucci and rapper Young Jeezy, a good friend of Big Meech's. Gucci was later cleared of the murder charges due to acting in self-defense, and his attorneys alleged that 5 men were ordered by BMF to commit the robbery. May 11, 2005, a fugitive named Darren Gatlin was located by a regional drug task force in Chamblee, Georgia. Task force agents found Darren Gatlin behind installation in the attic. At that moment, shots were fired from outside the house at the police. They traced the last number called in Darren Gatlin's phone to Jerry Davis, leader of BMF's supposed sister organization, the Sin City Mafia. Police alleged that Darren called Jerry Davis to report the officers at his house, and Jerry ordered the shots to be fired. On May 23, 2005, Shane and Kelsey Brown, nephews of R&B singer Bobby Brown, were stabbed in the neck with an ice pick at a birthday party at Justin's, a restaurant in ATL, owned by Diddy. Witnesses claimed that Marquis Baby Blue Dixon, the younger brother of BMF rap artist and member Blue Da Vinci, got into an altercation with Bobby Brown's family alongside bodyguards of rapper Fabulous, who was there with Baby Blue. During the altercation, Baby Blue is alleged to have stabbed both in the neck, causing permanent disfigurement. Baby Blue was later murdered in 2006 by his girlfriend. Jabari Hayes, an alleged member of BMF, who allegedly served as their courier and distributor, wrote the book Miles in the Life in 2009 and is also the executive producer of a 2017 documentary by the same name. And both Jabari Hayes recounts his upbringing in public housing in Brooklyn with a crack-addicted mother, and a move to St. Louis as a high schooler to escape his surroundings, eventually landing in Atlanta, where after graduating from Morehouse College, he began operating a valet parking service that eventually led to his alleged involvement with BMF. In 2010, rapper Rick Ross released the song BMF, Blowing Money Fast, with the title's acronym being in reference to the organization's name. The song's chorus also repeatedly mentions Big Meech. The 2012 documentary BMF, The Rise and Fall of a Hip-Hop Drug Empire, explores the 14-year investigation that led to one of the largest drug busts in history. The documentary series Gangland covered the Black Mafia Family in its 87th episode. In 2021, a drama TV series called Black Mafia Family premiered on Starz, produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Demetrius Flenory Sr. is portrayed by his real-life son. With his cute ass. He's too young for me, though. Demetrius Lil Meech, Demetrius Flenory Jr. Okay, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.